everybody. Welcome back to the Smarketing Connect podcast. I am your host, Tom Libby, the current president CEO of Smarketing Connect. And one of my favorite things to do, as you guys all know by now, is to bring on our Smarketing Connect experts and just ask them a bunch of questions to see how great they are. And I don't read any intros because I like the guests to do that themselves. So the intro essentially, Gary, is my very first question, which is, in a few sentences, can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Thanks, Tom. Happy to be here. Gary Kurtis. I started my company, Sales Tips 101, 6 years ago, and it's sales training, as you can see by my background, and also workshops.
Awesome. That was definitely a few sentences. So tell us a little bit about who are the companies that usually work with you? What are their size? Like, are they big giant companies that you go do all kinds of training for? Are they smaller companies that you work with? And give us a little insight
Okay,
as to what types of
sure.
companies those
They're
are.
all very small, Tom. What I did is in 2020, when I started this, it was obviously the year of the pandemic. A lot of people had gotten riffed. A lot of people would fall into something new. And I felt that many of them would not have the option and the resources to go to any of these big sales training companies. They all do a great job. Many of them, most of them, as a matter of fact, really would lack selling skills because they never had to have selling skills. So I felt that there was a market. People that are, a lot of them are entrepreneurs or just joining a company or joining a small team. And these are folks that will learn everything about the field they're in, but in a very short period of time, they're going to need help because they don't have the selling skills that are required to be successful.
Awesome.
The
Yeah.
only other thing I would add, Tom, is service-based companies as opposed to retail.
Oh,
People that
got it.
have to
Yeah,
go
that
out and
makes
get
sense.
clients.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So on a little bit different note, so we
Yeah,
talk about small business tools a lot, especially in our world, right? In sales and marketing, we always talk about small business tools. In your
yeah.
opinion, can you give us a what is like a must-have, right? Like what is one small business tool that you think every company should have no matter what? And tell us why you think that's important.
I think it's really important, and I always felt this way, both as a salesperson and as a sales manager. I think it's really important to have a really good, organized, structured approach to how you do things. The idea of just winging it doesn't work. And one of the things that I do with my clients is I help them to build a program that is a very structured program. I always call my programs both quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative meaning that I'm going to help you as a client to put together a program of all the different things that make sense to generate activity, to be successful. And you're going to identify not only what to do, but how often you should be doing it. And then you're going to measure yourself to see what's working and what isn't working. The qualitative part is simply defined by the word how, and that's where I really come in. I help them on how to go about doing these things so they get the biggest bang for their buck. Because a lot of my time is spent helping clients to avoid the many mistakes that I made. So again, it's having a really good, organized, structured approach to how you do things.
So interpreting this back, would you say that the must-have tool is like a written SOP, like some sort of standard operating procedure where they can have like they can follow along in their own process or
Yeah, I mean, it's a plan, and there's
yeah,
different ways to do it, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, whether it's CRM. There's a lot of ways to do it, but the bottom line concept is the same. It's to use what I call a very strategic approach to understanding your market, basic target marketing, understanding your market, and then taking the time to really go through what are the things that are going to make sense that I have to do to be successful in that particular market.
yeah, totally get it. I get it. It's a great answer too, by the way. Thank you. So the next question is surrounding people who basically come to you, right? So usually when people come to a consultant and they're coming to them with a very particular problem.
Yeah.
So what I'm curious about is, do you have like that one thing that is a challenge that they bring to your attention? Like, do they come to you for one particular challenge or an overarching challenge? Or tell us a little bit about why or how what they come to you for and how you solve that problem for them.
A lot of different challenges, which is why I pride myself in having a very customized approach. I take the time to really learn as much as I can about what's important, their objectives, their challenges. Many of them If I had to find one thing that jumps out more than anything else, it's what we all deal with. We have meetings and we're just not getting anywhere. We're not getting the results we look for. They ghosted us. We have trouble following up. We're just not getting the results that we're looking for. Many of them are in that particular configuration, but there's many, many other kinds of problems too.
Yeah, true, true. Awesome. Okay, so now I want you to put your a different cap on here because
Yeah,
I like to ask people this question that is um more, it's less about people hiring us and more about as individuals and more about like our industry as a whole, right? So
yeah,
sales and marketing consultants get spoken to and hired by small business owners every day, right? So
right.
if you were talking to a small business owner that is not hiring you, but they were going to hire somebody in the sales and marketing consultant, what would be the number one piece of advice that you would give them in order to hiring the right consultant for them?
Sure. Simple. Many of the big sales training companies, as I mentioned, they all do a great job, but they appeal to the masses and they have a cookie cutter approach. Mine is the opposite. What I would be asking them to look at, whether it's me or somebody else, is whether that person is really willing to take the time to learn about you, learn about what is going on with you, do the hand holding that is really going to be required. Because many of these sales training companies, they simply don't have the resources to be able to do that, to be able to get that focused, that customized, that personalized. And with the market that I'm handling, a lot of solopreneurs, people that are just getting into something for the first time, they need that if they're going to be successful, or they're literally throwing their money away. And I've had clients that have come to me that have actually literally thrown money away with other sales training programs because it didn't give them what they needed.
That's actually really I like that answer because we've noticed that and again, even if you go outside of the sales world and you talk about the marketing consultants, it's the same thing. It's the same idea where some of these bigger agencies, the bigger PR firms and
Yeah,
stuff like that are not really they're not really not that they're not qualified. I'm sure they're qualified, but they don't really do a good job handling smaller accounts and that at that hand to hand level, right? Like that interpersonal level. They handle it like they would handle a large account. It's not the same. So I
yeah,
like that answer.
exactly. Good.
Okay. So on a more fun kind of question, I love to ask
Yeah.
my guests this question, and I know you're already laughing, so I have a feeling you know the question that's coming up.
Oh, I do.
But I like to make things a little light. I like to make sure our audience knows that we're human and that we can goof around a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I ask you this question with all the sincerity I can muster up here, Gary. If you could be a superhero, who
Yeah.
would you be and tell me why?
Sales, I always said, Tom, for as many decades as I've done it, and I tell people that are new to it, sales is very easy, it's very hard. Now, what do I mean by that? The hard part is that I mean, and I've had sales cycles that go on for weeks, months. And you could be out there, you're killing yourself, you're doing all the right things, and you're just not getting anywhere. A lot of it can be beyond your control, but you're just not getting anywhere. It's so frustrating. And there were times that I would like to say, you know what? Why can't I just be Superman and get over this hurdle that I'm dealing with, and just come on, let's just make it happen. Put on my cape and here's the pen, let's just sign that contract. That would be great. I don't know how well that answers your question, but
No,
that's
no,
my.
no. It answers the question fine. There's no wrong answer there. I like it.
Figured.
All right. So last, as we round out the end of this particular episode, we
Yeah,
like to give shout outs to other sales and marketing consultants that we think are doing a really good job and kind of pay it forward to them so that they don't so that people realize that there are other people that think that they're doing a good job and they're not just tooting their own horn all the time. So this gives
sure.
you an opportunity to give somebody a quick shout out and tell people why you've either partnered with them in the past or you think they do a good job or et cetera, et cetera. But who in your world would you love to say, and by the way, specifically a sales and marketing consultant, I would prefer. if you know another sales and marketing consultant that you think deserves a kind of a shout out, and maybe we can have them on the podcast next too, by the way. That's
Yeah.
the other
So you're talking about sales, marketing, does it matter?
nope, doesn't matter.
Okay, so I have a really good friend who is a marketing consultant who we actually meet once a week. His name is David Lita, and David has been doing this forever. He started out as a graphic artist. He's a very, very creative guy. He takes the time to really learn what his clients are trying to accomplish. He's all about target marketing. He's all about, as he said, make sure you're fishing in the ponds where the fish are. And I've learned so much from David, and he's a terrific guy. And actually, what I have to do is invite him to your Thursday event.
I would love to, and we're going to tag him in this too, by the way, so he'll get some exposure right there
Right. He will
about
love it.
the
He will love it because
about
he and I
about
have a
who we
great
are.
relationship.
So that's we'll round this off by saying, Gary, thank you very much. You've been an awesome guest, very insightful, very thoughtful in your question and your answers to the question. So I certainly appreciate it. Hopefully, our audience appreciates it. I'm not editing this, so you're going to hear all of that. But
Haley,
so
we're
Gary,
human, Tom, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much, Gary, for being here with us today.
Thanks, Tom.
And for everybody else out there, keep selling.